What's up, everybody? Carson Khan here. Thought I'd take some time, excuse me, to tell you all about my DMT experiences. So, I've done DMT 3 times. First time I was, I don't even know, 27 or 28 or 29 or 26 or 25 or 24. I don't know. A bunch of years ago. And then the second 2 times were when I was away in Mexico just recently. But anyway, so the first time I was in Harrison Hot Springs with a good buddy of mine. We went up there to see a friend of his. I'd been talking a lot about DMT at the time because I was just learning about it on the internet. Anyways, we get there and I'm talking about it. That's what I do. I talk about things that are on my mind usually. But so this guy's like, oh, I got some DMT. You can have it if you want. We can go do it right now. And first I declined. I was like, oh, I don't know. Scared, I guess. Not ready for it. I was a full-on drug addict at that time. Like I was smoking heroin all day that day. And then I agreed to do it. I was like, okay, let's do it. I might not ever get this opportunity again. Who knows? So I was smoking heroin like right before I did it. So probably not the best idea, but so we walk out to the beach. He brings his bong. He fills the bong with ash and then sprinkles the DMT on top. It's just like a crystal or a powder. Anyways, he's like, take it back in 1 big blast or take it back in 3. Some people do it in 1, some people do it in 3. So I just crushed the thing, 1 big blast, hold the hoot in for as long as you can, lay back on the beach, and then as soon as I let the hoot out, it starts reacting, right? So what happened this time it was interesting for sure. So this, the only way I can describe what happened was like these pearly gates formed in front of me, like these very heavenly gates made out of like brick and like cool stained glass and very like church-like. And this is what was really interesting about it is I'm not really a religious guy. I don't follow any mainstream religions, but I do believe in a lot of the stuff that these different religions teach. Anyways, so on each gate there was like a rectangular picture, like almost like a painting of Jesus Christ on both of them. So I found that kind of interesting. Anyways, I slowly moved forward towards the gates, or they slowly came towards me, and then as soon as I got like right close to them, they just exploded, and I started going through this crazy wormhole. Now these are just the visuals. I can't explain to you the feeling of it because it's so far beyond anything that you've ever felt. It's very uncomfortable. At first it was very uncomfortable. I basically couldn't handle it. So I started going through this like red and pink colored wormhole, very like circular shapes, teardrop kind of shapes throughout it, just going through this circle. Terrifying, didn't know what was going on, never felt anything like it. I freaked out. Only lasted about 15 to 20 or 30 seconds in that until I opened my eyes, jumped up and was grabbing my head. It's like, oh my god, I need it to stop, get me out of this, can't handle this, give me a cigarette. Just going crazy, right? Until finally like it starts to wear off. So like 3 to 5 minutes, it kind of slows down, and then you realize, okay, I'm all right, I can handle this, right? You're still totally in it, and you start looking around, and like you're like, holy crap, like what's going on? Where am I, right? And everything looks like thousands of years into the future at this point for me. Like the hotels I could see in the distance had like chrome outlines to them with bright fluorescent lights all through it. The whole beach was like scattered with these little snail like alien kind of beings that were just popping up everywhere, and they're just laughing at me like pointing and laughing, and I could like kick them over and stuff. And then it slowly kind of just comes back to normal. Like reality starts to just come back to reality, or this reality that we know in our 5 senses you start to come back into it. But so that was the first time. Basically freaked out, scary as hell. Didn't know what to make of it. So the next time I did it was when I was in Mexico. After about 3 days, after I'm stabilized, right? I'm off the fentanyl at this point, the crack, and I'm on a high dose of morphine. So I'm starting to stabilize, so I'm starting to get up and feel better and stuff. And then they're like, okay, you want to have a DMT session? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. This time I was more prepared, right? It seems like every time you do it, it kind of gets easier because you know what to expect a little bit. But so this time they laid me down in a bed. They have what's called changa, and then they sprinkle the DMT on top. I guess, I don't know, I think changa like enhances the visuals a little bit. I'm not really sure, but nonetheless, again, packed the bowl. This time I did it in 3 blasts. 1, hold it into. 3rd one, hold it in for as long as you can. Headphones on. Listen to a song. It was like an African native Indian type song. I'm not really sure. It was called White Buffalo by Alborada or Eldorado. Alborada, I think. I don't know. I'll put it on here so you can hear it. But so same type of thing. Hold the hood in, let it out, and this music starts playing, and then slowly this wormhole forms, and then I'm going through it again. It's not as fast this time. It's not as terrifying. It's slower and more comforting. Maybe the music had something to do with it, but it was like white and blue colors this time instead of red and pink, and it was more like sacred geometry shapes. It wasn't circular and teardrop shapes. It was like, you know, octagon, polygon, sacred geometry type thing that I'm going through. And there's this like sacred geometry, polygonal art type lion, white lion. He's got like blue eyes, really cool looking. He's just in front of me the whole time. I can like feel him breathing, and we're going through this wormhole. And that was basically it. It was just a wormhole experience again until it finally kind of slows down. And then I always open my eyes after 3 to 5 minutes. They tell you to just stay in it, like keep your eyes closed for 15 minutes, but I just can't. Once the intensity ends, I have to open my eyes and start looking around and see what I see. But anyways, the comforter in my bed was white with like designs in it, and I could see the lion. He was still there. He was in the comforter. And then I'd look around, and the tiles were like slate tiles, and they were like extruding out, like they were like 3-dimensional. Had like mountains coming like out of them, like 6 inches high. And then the guys who were in the room with me, one of the owners of the facility, and then another guy who works there, they were like electric. I could see like electricity like flowing through them and stuff. It was really cool, really, really cool. And just the way that they were standing there and like presenting themselves, they just looked like, I don't know, they looked like mystic beings almost. I don't really know how to explain it, but it was really cool. And then finally, it just, you kind of come back into your 5 senses, and the thing wears off. You're like, there's a point in there where I was just like laying in my bed, throwing my headphones in there, and just kind of giggling to myself, like, what was that? That was just so amazing. Like, trying to explain to these guys what I saw, but I can't. Like, words can't really come out right. And they're just like, we know. We've done this. We know what you're trying to explain to us, and you just can't. Like, just be in it. Just enjoy it, right? So it was cool. Much more pleasant of an experience, but still very, very, very weird. Very hard to explain the feeling. You can explain the visuals to a degree, but you can't explain this feeling of what's happening to you. And then the 3rd time was a few days later. They're like, yo, you can do DMT again if you want in a day or 2. I was like, let's just do it right now. I'm kind of impatient sometimes. But so we did it. He's like, all right, let's go into the bedroom. Headphones on. This time we put a song on called The End by Lisa Gerrard. I think it's like Gerrard. And there's like a 3-minute clip on YouTube of this song called The End, and it's from a Denzel Washington movie, and it's just this woman singing in this heavenly voice, and it was just absolutely perfect for DMT. But same thing, 3 big blasts, go back, like head back in the bed, headphones on, and then same thing, these sounds start coming in, and like you start going through this portal thing. So I can describe it as like a doorway or a portal. And it's spinning. It's definitely like swirling slowly. It's much slower than the first time, and the second time it was even slower. But this time was very, very interesting. This was the most therapeutic DMT experience I ever had out of the 3. There was this female being in front of me, and she was like dressed in black. She had like a bluish, light blue, white face with this black like circular cone hat that comes up to a point in the front. And she's like human, but she's an advanced human. She reminds me of like these gods and goddesses that you see on the temple walls and stuff, like Isis and Osiris and those type of people. But she was definitely human. She wasn't like half bird or anything like that. She was human but advanced. And she's going like this to me. She's going whoosh. and she's pulling something, like just doing this the whole time. She's pulling something from the center of my forehead out, like out of my third eye, or my pineal gland, or whatever you want to refer to it as. And she's going like this, and it's very, very, very therapeutic. It feels very good. It's like, feels like she's pulling a blockage out of my head almost, or out of my soul or my being or something. But again, this went on for like 3 to 5 minutes, and it was amazing. It felt amazing. Still felt weird, like going through the portal. I still can't explain the feeling. Anyways, it's the same thing. Opened my eyes after like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. Can't really speak, trying to explain what I saw, just kind of enjoying like the visuals, because you're still in this hallucination, but it's just not as intense. It slowly wears off. And I'm looking around in the colors and the geometry, same type of thing, right? Until it finally wears off. So those are a brief breakdown of my 3 DMT experiences. Now, what I think DMT is, so they tell you that DMT is produced naturally in everyone's brains, in your pineal gland. It's in grass, it's in like, you know, all these different plants around the world. It's extracted from some plant in Peru, but I think you can get it out of anything. I'm not sure, actually, I don't know. But apparently it's in like all living beings, reptiles. But so what it appears to me is that they tell you that it's released in your brain when you're born, and it's released in your brain when you die, right? So what it seems to me is that it's like the doorway from like the prior life to this life, or from this life to the afterlife, or the in-between life, or whatever you want to call it, right? So it represents like the gateway, the experience that you feel when you die, from going from human to whatever it is we go to when we die, right? It's the passageway, but that's all it is the passageway. Now, it's the doorway. It's getting on the flight or getting in the car and going to wherever you're going. Now, what I think ibogaine is the actual place that you go to. So you get to experience the afterlife, or the in-between life, or the prior life by taking ibogaine. This is what I think. I don't know if it's true. So you get like the life review, like in ibogaine, you get the life review. You know, you get lessons, insights, past lives, future lives. You get to meet all your past loved ones. This is what happened for me, anyways. And then what I think ayahuasca is ayahuasca appeared to be like, for me, it was like a day spa within the afterlife. It was very therapeutic. It was calming. It was like I was in a float tank almost the whole time. Just like getting permeated with love. It was all about love and calmness, and then fun as well. Like there was a time where we were all, like me and my shaman and the girl that was there with us, we were all singing and dancing, and it was just a blast, right? It was very, very therapeutic. It feels like I was at a day spa. But so that's what I think these plant medicines are. They give you a chance at experiencing, like, you know, more than just what it's like to be human in the 5 senses. These are just theories of mine. I don't know whether or not they're true, but that's what I think. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, hit me up. You know how to reach me. Peace. Love y'all.